Welcome everyone. Today we're going to go through a bunch of different exercises, full body, and I'm going to show you some of the cues I use with clients that I deal with in person. And if you like them, you can use them in your own workouts when you do things on your own. The things I like to think about and focus on are, what are your feet doing during this exercise? What is your center of mass doing during this exercise? And what are your shoulder blades back there doing during this exercise? All three of those work in conjunction during every movement that we experience, and as you get to know yourself, you learn how those three cooperate with each other. So let's go through a few examples and let's do some work. This is a chest press. Now you can do this with dumbbells or you can do this with a barbell. The choice is yours. The cable is cool because it kind of gives you a real clear visual as to what's happening. So let's go through our three constants. Feet, what are our feet doing? Let's be strong. Feet shoulder width apart, athletic stance in everything we do. Center is obviously sitting on the chair, but sometimes you may be laying back or whatever. Just feel like you can have access to it. Your center connected to your feet. Shoulder blades is probably going to be on the bench, but as everything slides, feel like things slide together in the back. So, not a lot of weight. Grab one, grab the other. Start where you want to finish, okay? Feel your hands, shake your arms out, because what's happening here is you want to use your body to press the weight. Okay? Because then when you have your constants, what you can do is any variation that you want. See that? And notice how there's no tension in the elbows. The elbows are joints and the shoulders are joints. So just let the joints be joints, no tension. 10 to 12 reps is all you need, and you're good. This is a machine row. Now, depending on what gym you go to, there's going to be many different variations of this exercise, but let's focus on what we can control, the constants, okay? The pads here are designed for your whole foot, okay? So use your whole foot and get to the place where you feel like I can feel my feet. As we know, we have our center of mass that's just kind of just below our belly button. We're going to feel strong there. And our shoulder blades are obviously back there, so we don't want to be slouched, right? So we're going to grab the weight, set our feet first, and then use everything to get back into a good position. Now, a lot of people miss a step. Let's get everything together and feel like we can hold this position with our feet, with our center, with our shoulder blades. You don't have to sit up super tall so that you have lumbar extension, but be together, okay? Then you can just let the elbows go. The hands are your constants, working with your shoulder blades, and you can see how the only thing that's moving really is the hands, which the weight is pulling back and forth, okay? So now you're training all three of those constants together, and everything in the body is working together as a unit. So that's your machine row. Okay, this is a bicep curl and press, okay? The bicep curl, a lot of people know, okay? But what we want to do is make it more of a shoulder motion as well as a bicep motion. So we're going to get the kind of long head of the bicep instead of the short head down by the elbow, okay? It's going to be a more holistic movement. This will allow us to use our feet a little bit more. We want to be out of our joints, so feel like you're in your feet. If you feel like your knees are locked, unlock them. And then you'll feel like you're in the center of your feet. Now, a little swing is okay to get it started, okay? You're going to come up here, and then you're going to press up above. Now, the press, don't feel like you have to lock out your elbows. Just go to where your body's comfortable. Feel like you're here and press, and come down. The important part about coming down is that you want your body to resist the gravity of the weight, okay? So come on up, and then let your abs help you hold on the way down. Now, you don't have to go that slow, but up and down, up and down, okay? See how there's a very specific sequence to it, but when you do it right, it'll feel very natural, especially as you get better at it. That's your bicep curl and press. Every gym that you go to is probably going to have the Lat Pulldown machine, okay? It is, if you're trying to work on pull-ups or just general upper body strength, great exercise to help develop those big chain muscles. Now, this is going to be seated, so our legs are going to be out of the picture, but we still want to feel our feet, okay? So whether you want to do underhand or overhand, the choice is yours. Okay, we're going to go overhand today, about shoulder width apart, you see? And we're going to sit down, okay? Establish your feet first. Okay, I know it's not perfectly 90 degrees, but get pretty close to where you can feel them. And then lean back just a hair and bring it all the way down to your sternum, okay? Make sure that you can stick your chest out but still feel your center. Make sense? So feel like you can hold this with your body but still maintain contact with your feet. And then, again, just let the hands do the moving. Let the body do the holding. And you see how I'm using a range of motion that my body can hold. If I go past that range of motion, what happens is I compromise my set position, okay? So we don't ever want to compromise our setup. So stay in a range. What's cool about the body is it gets stronger within that range. So over time what happens is you'll realize you can hold for a longer and longer period of time. And look, I haven't broken down because I've done this before. Then that's the way you can test if you're improving in an exercise, if the range is getting bigger, but your setup is not compromising. That's your lat pull. All right, here's where we switch it up from the traditional bodybuilding style of lifting, okay? Now, I've got two 30-pound kettlebells in my hand, and we're going to do a farmer's carry or a loaded carry, depending on what you call it. The main thing here is when you hold heavy things, gravity pulls you kind of into a slumped position where you trust your joints a lot more than you really need to. So when we set this one up, what we want to make sure is we want to be out of our joints. We're not going to use our joints for strength. So let the muscles be the ones for strength. So unlock your knees, unlock your elbows by lifting up, and kind of lift your chest. So create a little bit of space, and you will realize how much work your body actually has to do to hold things up. Now, if you can't walk in this position, just hold it for 30 seconds. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're ready, walk, okay? And make sure you don't compromise the setup that you set up. You see how I'm keeping the space, everything's right where I left it, and my muscles are burning, my traps, everything. So, do whichever variation is best for you. The main thing is, don't dump into your joints. That's your farmer's carry. Okay, now it doesn't matter what order you do these things in, it's completely up to you. I like to do upper before lower just to kind of get the body going and everything. It's completely preference, okay? There's no right or wrong. Leg press seems, but let's go through our three constants again, okay? We've got our feet, make sure they're planted, make sure you know where your center is. Your shoulder blades are going to be on the chair or the back of the rest or whatever. So just maintain awareness of those 3 points as you're doing the exercise. Let's do about 12 to 15. Okay, so I've got all the arches of my foot. My foot's a tripod. I'm going to really feel that everything's comfortable, and I'm going to press off with my center through my feet, okay? Now, if you feel this in your knees, you're probably losing awareness of one of those 3 things, probably your center, okay? So feel like you can, the wet footprint as you come out of a pool, feel that footprint at every point of this range, you see? So if you start to feel your knees here, maybe you should stop, probably like right around here, and just let that be the range for the time being. Guess what? As you get stronger, you're able to go a lot deeper, okay, without any real restriction. But if you feel restriction, that means that's your body's way of telling you, like, yo, we're not ready for this just yet. We need to work on some of our constants a little bit better. So think about that the next time you do the leg press. You either love this one or you hate this one. This is called the prone leg curl. Now, prone just means you're laying down on your stomach. I have a seated leg curl right next door, but we're going to use this one today because it's one that a lot of people are more familiar with. Great for building up those big hamstrings, but let's make sure that it's the hamstrings that we're building. What happens is a lot of times people will create a false lumbar curve when they do this because they don't have the range of motion. So when we do this, pick a weight that's smart for you, less is more, okay? And make sure that you're not creating tension. So wiggle your feet a little bit, okay? Make sure you're set up. Keep this area quiet, okay? What you're gonna do, use your muscles to bring it up, okay? Feel free in your feet. And the knee is gonna be a hinge in this exercise. You see that? That's not moving. You're just using your hamstrings to pull the feet and ankles to your butt, okay? Very straightforward, okay? But if you're not aware of what your body's doing, there can be a few compromises that cause you pain. So let's stay away from that. That's your prone leg curl. All right, another staple of every gym is the leg extension machine, okay? This is all, you know, the kick out kind of machine that helps you build your quads. If you love working your quads, you love this machine. But the way I like to look at it is, how does this work in concert with everything else in the body? That's why I focus on how does the body move well. So let's introduce this, okay? So if we're here, the seat position is important. What you want is, you see how this cam here is the hinge point of the machine? It's pretty much in line with my knees because we want the knees to work as the machine works. So we don't want to fight with the machine, we want the machine to work for us, right? Again, feet not doing anything because they're free, but just pick a spot where they can be loose, feel your center, feel your shoulder blades, Don't let anything compromise. Whatever position you pick, keep it, okay? So rather than kicking up, here's the distinction I want to make. Take your center, take a laser pointer and point it out in the direction that you're kicking and draw a line out, okay? You'll flip the ankle a little bit to come back down and you'll hold here. What you'll notice is the tension is less around your knees and closer to your hips. That's how you know you're doing something on a deeper and higher level. So it's a nice fluid motion. I'm doing a little bit of an ankle flip at the top. You don't have to do that. Just learn how to kick out first, and when you're ready, that mobility will be there, okay? So 8 to 10, 10 to 12, 12 to 15, it's your call, but just make sure those constants are always being thought about. That's your leg extension. This is going to be our seated calf raise. Now, there's plenty of calf raise variations that you can do, you know, whether it's machine or dynamic or body weight, it doesn't matter. Standing, seated, doesn't matter. The main thing is they all serve a variety of purposes. This is the main purpose I use it for, okay? We're trying to teach the feet how to operate as an independent, stabilizing entity. Now, that sounds impressive, but it's really very simple. So just treat your foot like one piece. What I tell people is if you had those Italian shoes on with the wood soles, would your foot be able to do that? No, it wouldn't. So let's teach the foot how to operate as one unit. So think about the arches going from your heel to your big toe. Just keep rising. Lift your shins through your feet. Okay, think of it more as a heel lift than an actual calf push. That's going to make it a lot easier for you. It'll connect to your center, and you may even feel some things make you want to sit taller. And you can see how my feet are almost working independent of my body, which they need to if you want to have good coordination and balance. So it'll work your soleus. Soleus is the bottom part that kind of covers your Achilles. The gastroc is that heart shape. That works too. It works too. But we want to work that ankle, the muscles that work the ankle so that your ankles are healthy and loose and that your feet are strong. That's our seated calf raise. Usually on day one, I finish up the circuit with the adduction machine. Adduction means you're bringing something in. The difference between adduction and abduction is adduction is adding to the center. Abduction is like if you're taking something away, somebody was abducted, we're taking our legs away from our center, okay? So the hip is going to abduct in order to bring the weight close. So you may not have used this machine before, and so you have to choose your range appropriately. Go as far as you feel comfortable. Again, establish your feet, establish your center, establish your shoulder blades. You can lean back or sit up tall. The choice is yours depending on what you're trying to work. Whatever you do, just make sure it's constant, okay? I'm going to lean back today just to give you, a beginner style of it. And we're just going to close everything. Do I feel like everything's together at the end position? Yes, I do. So now I can dictate and delegate how far I feel comfortable going. The great thing about this machine is usually for people that are sitting a lot in an office or something like that, this is a great groin release tool, believe it or not. Even though it's strengthening the deep adductors, some of the superficial adductors that we overuse, it does a good job of helping relax. One of the great things about the body is that when it finally learns to use the right thing, it lets go of some of the wrong things that's been causing us pain and dysfunction. That's one of the reasons I love this exercise, and I usually try to finish my circuit with it. That's the hip adductor. I really want to thank you for joining me today. I know a lot of those things were probably new for you, but if they weren't, even better. There's plenty of things we can go to from here, but if you're just getting started in the world of getting to know yourself, your own body, I think this is a great launching pad for you. And if you're struggling with any of these things, reach out and contact me. We can work through those things, but this is a great beginner circuit for just about anybody at any training age. And even if you're a great athlete, it will fill in some gaps for you that you didn't realize you had. And that journey is definitely worth exploring. I hope you embark on that journey. And if you need any help at all, contact me. I'm here to help you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.